The wind carried a strange chill that evening, an unnatural cold that didn't belong anywhere near a warm beach town like Havenport. Tourists had returned to their hotels, restaurants were shutting down, and the shoreline lay empty except for one person. Lina, a freelance photographer searching for eerie ocean shots for her new horror-themed portfolio. The sky was a thick gray blanket, heavy enough to press on her lungs. Waves rolled in slowly, lazily, but each one came with an odd, low groan. At first, Lina thought it was just the wind whistling through the rocks. Then the groan turned into something unmistakable. A scream. She froze. It came from the direction of the sea, long, trembling, and impossibly deep, as if something enormous was calling out from beneath the waves. Her camera trembled in her hands. Probably a whale, she told herself, trying to calm her racing heart. But whales didn't scream like humans being torn apart. Lina lifted the camera and zoomed in on the water. A ripple, too large, too deliberate, disturbed the calm surface. The hair on the back of her neck rose. Another scream tore through the air, louder this time, echoing off the cliffs behind her. She staggered backward. No, that can't be real. Sand shifted under her feet. At first, she thought it was just the water pulling back with unusual force. But then the sand beneath her pulsed, as if something alive was breathing just under the surface. Lines formed in the sand, stretching like tendons under skin. Lina leapt away, heart pounding. The sand bulged, cracked, split open. A hand, long, pale, and covered in slimy kelp, reached out. Lina's scream vanished into the roar of the wind. She snapped a picture without thinking, the flash illuminating a grotesque figure dragging itself from the earth. It wasn't rising from the water. It was rising from the shore. A creature of sand and seawater, its body shifting like wet clay trying to hold a shape. Its face was featureless except for a gaping mouth filled with rows of jagged, seashell-like teeth. When it opened that mouth to howl, the entire beach vibrated with the force. This was the scream she'd heard. The scream of something older than the ocean itself. Lina stumbled back, nearly falling as she turned and sprinted toward the lifeguard tower. Behind her, the creature slithered across the sand with horrifying speed, its movements like crashing waves frozen mid-motion. The tower was locked, but she climbed anyway, her fingers shaking as she grabbed the ladder. She reached the top and pressed herself against the railing, gasping. The creature circled below, shifting its body, dissolving into sand, reforming in strange, twisted shapes. Every few seconds, it let out that terrible scream, the ocean's scream, so powerful that the tower beams shook. Lina's mind raced. It's not hunting me, it's calling something. Her fear deepened. From the water, a second scream answered. Then a third. Waves began rising unnaturally, curling upward like massive hands trying to reach the sky. The sea foamed and churned, glowing faintly as if lit from below. Lina raised her camera again, fingers trembling. Shapes moved in the waves. Dark silhouettes, dozens of them, approaching shore. No. The shoreline exploded. 3 creatures, each larger than the first, erupted onto the sand. Their forms dripped seawater, their limbs long and twisted like driftwood. Eyes, glowing like deep-sea lanterns, blinked unnervingly in the dark. Their mouths opened in unison, releasing a scream so violent the camera slipped from Lina's hand. She covered her ears and crouched low, but the sound burrowed straight into her skull. Tears streamed down her face. Suddenly, silence. She slowly opened her eyes. The creatures were no longer looking at the camera tower. They were looking past her, toward the town. Toward the sleeping families, the empty streets, the homes unaware of the nightmare crawling onto their shore. Lina's breath hitched. She couldn't fight them. Couldn't stop them. But she could warn the town. She forced herself to climb down, even though the sand beneath the tower pulsed with monstrous life. Adrenaline carried her legs forward as she sprinted toward the boardwalk. Behind her, the creatures moved, their footsteps leaving deep impressions that filled instantly with swirling seawater. Just before she reached the road, she turned back. The beach was alive. Waves rising like serpents, sand slithering in unnatural patterns, creatures gathering under the moonlight. And together, they screamed. A single, earth-shaking roar. The ocean's scream. Lina ran faster than she'd ever run in her life, knowing one thing for certain. Whatever the ocean had awakened that night was coming for them all.